Hey guys, this is episode 4 of D is for Democracy. This is my first playthrough where I went more than 20 turns, right? So, we're playing as the United States. We're playing on the very hardest difficulty, where you start out with the initial challenge of having a $3.5 trillion debt. I've dropped the debt down to $2 trillion, and I'm still working on it. And at first, the trick is to raise taxes and lower expenses without pissing anyone off enough that they're actually going to assassinate you, right? So you have to balance the happiness of all the various different groups, as well as the population of those groups, and the budget. But once you get the budget under control, then you're just trying to grow your economy. You're trying to grow your GDP. So usually you have to dump money in order to grow the GDP. And that as you grow the GDP, you get more money, and then you dump it in, and you get more money, and you dump it in, right? And then you're going to run into events where you just all of a sudden you're like the GDP plummets, like there's a financial meltdown, or you go to war, so you have to fund your military a bunch more. I don't know, just random stuff. And then you have to start canceling policies. It's always much harder to cancel a policy than it was to enact it. So, anyway. That's the general idea up in here. Stream game. Because it's called stream game. Alright. So at this point, our terrorist groups, you should always start by trying to appease the terrorists, which seems a little bit ridiculous because we should not negotiate with terrorists, right? But the Freedom League of the Heritage Society are liberal terrorists, I think. Let's check. No, we already closed the web browser, so we can't check. But I think that's liberal terrorism, which is weird because liberals kind of like me, so I'm surprised that they're our biggest terrorism threat. Anyway, what they're really mad about is the CIA, the FBI, the armed police, and prisoner tagging, police drones, and homelessness. Police drones are not fully in effect yet. They're gonna increase the hatred of liberals a little bit more in the near future. So I don't think we need to worry too much about them because they're staying sort of steady. We might want to keep them in mind when doing other things, but for now we're okay. So we want to fight asthma so that parents like us, and asthma has a detrimental effect on the overall economy as well. So part of fighting asthma is fuel efficiency standards. We can do that, man. Let's fight fuel efficiency. This increases motorist income, increases car usage. That's weird. I guess if you can drive further for less money, then people will drive more often. Makes environmentalists happy, reduces CO2 emissions. I'm not sure that this matters. I wonder what that affects, and pisses off capitalism. So let's look at who cares about CO2. Why is CO2 important? This is like on a 150-year scale that CO2 matters. Like, I don't see why it would matter in a game like this. So CO2 emissions affect carbon tax income, foreign relations, and environmental. Okay, so yeah, it just makes environmentalists happy and it affects foreign relations. It doesn't have any actual impacts on anything, which is what I would expect, because I'm not going to still be the president in 57 years when it actually matters what I was doing about CO2. Alright, foreign aid, tax shelters, CO2 emissions. So tax shelters and CO2 emissions are making other countries mad at us a little bit, and their anger is causing a little bit of racial tension, though very, very little. And we getting some tourism from them there, other countries them there. Let's look at this red thing. Anything that's red is worth looking at, right? Homelessness. We've got a homelessness epidemic. It is of epidemic proportions that we are homeless. It's causing many poor people to be unhappy because they don't have homes. That would make me pretty unhappy, I gotta say. If I didn't have homes, I would not be happy about that. Ooh boy. Poverty up in here. So poverty is what's causing the homelessness epidemic. Poverty and unemployment. I don't think I can fight unemployment. But I can certainly fight poverty. All you have to do to fight poverty is give people free eye exams. And then they're just like, I'm not even poor anymore. What's up? Unemployment benefits, food stamps. Unemployment in general is caused by robotics research grants are causing unemployment. Technology causes unemployment. How does technology cause unemployment? I guess when you can do the same amount of work with fewer people, then more people don't have jobs or something. But mostly it's the GDP is causing unemployment. So as the GDP continues to rise, then unemployment will go away. So let's make the GDP go up some more, right? Productivity is the best way to do that. Where's productivity? Productivity is caused by health and education. Now, health is of the greatest concern. On our summary page, it's got this big like health thing. And bad health is caused by pollution, drug addiction, and working. The number of days per week that you work, I guess. And we can fight the negative health effects by... This is weird, because I would think that state-run health services would have a positive effect on the economy, right? It has a negative effect on private healthcare. Private healthcare reduces poor earnings and middle earnings. The size of private healthcare sector, this will arise naturally from supply and demand and be boosted from in boom times, but can be reduced by providing decent state healthcare system. Instead, the downside with private healthcare is that the poorest in society cannot afford it and may also avoid treatment until it becomes essential in order to save on costs. Right. But it says private healthcare has a positive effect on health and on the GDP. Why would it have a positive effect on health and the GDP? This seems wrong. Oh no, it's caused by having a positive GDP and not having enough state-funded healthcare. Okay. And its effects, cause and effect, duh. It causes unemployment and it reduces income. I don't know if I want to tackle healthcare until I've paid down the debt. I'm having trouble spending my political capital on things that don't really cost a lot of money. Let's just save up and buy scientists. We like scientists. Moving on. Technological superiority. Terrorist captured. Obesity is developed. How did we obesity? Oh, the richer you are, the more obese you become. Food Standards Agency fights obesity? Why would having better quality food fight obesity? That doesn't make any sense. It's not like they're going to like no matter how much money you spend on the Food Standards Agency, they should never be like outlawing something with too much sugar in it unless I pass a law to do so. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, we've got 30 political capital, which I think is enough to create scientist. No. Revert. Go back. Scientists. Where's the Jesus fish? Alright, we've got enough to Jesus fish. Let's piss off the religious people and see if they burn us at the stake. Alright, so what else are religious people caring a lot about? Because we need to make them happy in exchange for pissing them off. There should be like burning effigies of me in the street. Cabinet government, congratulations. You've managed to steer the ship of state for 6 years without once having to resort to firing ministers or enduring the embarrassment of a resignation. Wow, good job. And we no longer have a skills shortage. That's great. Housing. There's an urgent policy question about housing. I haven't read this one. I've never played this long, so it's a new one. There is a shortage of homes in our country, and the government is under pressure to relax planning laws in order to allow previously restricted greenbelt land to be built on. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Guys, build suburbs. You don't need to build on our special greenbelt. Okay. Security report. Looks like nobody wants to kill us. Looks good. Budget. Looks like Our GDP is through the freaking roof. Our expenses have consistently gone up, but our income has gone up even more. The global economy is doing ridiculously well. At first it crashed, and then it recovered, and now... So pretty soon this will go down, which will cause this to go down. So we don't want to raise our expenses too high in anticipation of that happening. But it's still nice to make 800 billion extra dollars per, well, 722 per whatever. Oh, we're actually out of debt next turn, as long as we don't spend any money this turn. So let's go to space. Okay. Clean energy, Consumer rights, sure. Workers' rights, yeah. Umbrella tax shelters, yeah, I like those. Pollution controls. This will upset capitalists and benefit the environment. And benefiting the environment will help asthma. And asthma will help productivity, and productivity will help the GDP. Ta-da! All right, dude, let's see how much the religious people are very mad. This upsets them by 31. They were even before, and now they're at negative 31. So we need plus 31 to religiousness. Maybe we can ban shopping on Sundays? Let's do something equally stupid. It's funny that the only way to pander to the religious people is to do stupid stuff. Like, why can't I just fund churches or something, you know? Sovereign wealth. Oh, how we look upon those countries with debt problems and laugh. Now we have you as our astute and, dare I say, prudent leader. The bank balance looks so good. I have a positive balance or trade deficit or whatever for the first time ever. I'm actually earning money. Airport expansion. Planning permission has been requested for the expansion of some of our country's largest airports. There's simply not enough capacity for the number of flights that want to land here. Why would I reject... Air travel is a pollution nightmare. Both air and noise pollution cause problems. We should not be encouraging air travel, although the plans would mean the demolition of countless homes. So basically they want us to eminent domain some bitches out of their houses so that we can build a bigger airport. That seems like so wrong. Why not just build an airport slightly further to the left? I'm going to do it. I think eminent domaining bitches out of their houses is awesome. All right, economic forecast. Good news. Economy is doing well. The global economy has surpassed our expenses. Sweet. It's times like this that I wish clicking X would take me back to the screen that I used to be on. Nobody even wants to kill me at all. Everything is looking up. Cabinet report. All of our ministers are very, very not happy. Why is this guy mad? Political capital measures the amount of power you have within the government. You need capital to implement change some policies, depending on how controversial that policy is to the electorate. Your political capital is calculated each turn and is generated by your ministers. The more loyal the minister is, the more supportive they will be, and the more political capital they generate each turn. So I need to reshuffle the cabinet because some of these guys are down to 1. But on the other hand, like, he's very experienced, he's very effective, he's still pretty loyal. I don't see what the problem is. Motorists are very unhappy. They're very mad. So we have a surplus. And we have a reserve of money. A $1 trillion surplus in 1 quarter. $1 trillion. Oh my God. It's tempting to go spend this money, but I don't need to. Everyone is very happy. And at some point, we'll stop being so awesome, you know? So let's save up some money before we do anything crazy. Tariffs are extremely popular with voters, except that they're also a terrible idea. Basically, voters are stupid, is what you're saying. Organic farming subsidies. Supporters of organic farming say that the state should subsidize this method of farming because the perceived health benefits of food without artificial flavoring and additives. Naturally, this is popular with farmers and environmentalists, but some people see it as a pointless distortion of what should be the free market. Like me, personally. Organic farm stuff makes money. It doesn't need to be funded by the government. It's doing fine on its own. Leave it alone. Recycling. I can't believe we don't have recycling. Duh. Let's recycle some stuff up in here. Once upon a time, we didn't have enough people that cared about the environment to actually pass that. Boom. Youth clubs. Youth clubs are awesome. I can't believe I didn't pass that before either. It's like basically a free way to fight crime without upsetting liberals. Like, good. Free, fight crime, doesn't upset liberals. Wow. There's the market meltdown. We knew that was coming. One of our ministers is done with us, so we need to boot him. Budget report says that our budget was in $1 trillion in surplus. The global economy is in recession. And polls report that only 61% of people love us. Only 61%. Seriously? Only? And we got no terrorists, but we're going to have capitalist terrorists pretty soon because of the global meltdown. And I feel like we should be lowering taxes to help the GDP, but look at the GDP, man. It's doing fine on its own. All right. So our cabinet is having troubles. You got 2 people down to 1.0. Unfortunately. It's so sad. So sad. So, looks like our best minister is 4.1, and he is transport, and then public services. So, let's start with transport. Whoop. Then public services. Whoop. And then we'll look for the next best guy, right? Next best guy is 3.8, and she wants to do taxes, right? So we'll let her do taxes. Hire a tax lady. You can be a tax lady, All right. Next, we want 2.7. Yeah. We'll put 2.7 in charge of foreign policy. Whoop. All right, Mr. 2.7. Then we're looking for welfare and economy. We got ourselves 2.4 for welfare. Whoop. And next we have 2.5 for law and order. Nice. And finally, it's the economy, stupid. The economy. We need an economist. There we go. 2.4 economist. Great. We're going to get 22 capital next turn. And that should be plenty. Plenty. We have 9 left. I'm not going to shop around. Shop around. Looks good. Software patents for sure. I am a software developer. Why would I not like software patents? Intelligence briefing says nobody wants to kill us. And budget report says that we just lost $400 billion a quarter from the downturn. Election report says that everybody likes us. Polls says that everybody likes us. Cabinet says that we got a loyal ministry. Everything is looking good. Unemployment is still the biggest problem, but that's the GDP's fault. We can't help that in the short term. We can just keep funding healthcare and science and pissing off religious people, and all will eventually work itself out. So the membership of religiousness is dropping down to 35%. Hopefully it will drop to 0 before it starts trying to murder me, but if not, we might have to do something. I'd still like to make religious people happy. How can we make religious people happy? You'd think that welfare would make them happy, right? But it doesn't. It's so the design of this game is so cynical. Like, religious people only care about things that directly affect religion. They don't care about how much money we're giving in foreign aid, or whether our government is perceived to value equality, right? All right, parents, maternity leave. Why did I implement maternity leave? That was a mistake. I didn't mean to. It reduces productivity and makes trade unionists happy. Wow. I did not mean to do this. Well, whatever. Let's impact our productivity negatively by accident. And bus subsidies and clean fuel subsidy. Everybody likes clean fuel subsidy. Everybody likes a subsidy. They're like, if the government can spend money and doesn't do anything, why not? You know, like anytime you just give money to private enterprise, people are like, okay, do it. Retail merger. A large retail chain store wants to become Walmart. Allow them to become Walmart? Yeah, of course. I like Walmart. It hurts small business. Shut up. You're stupid. It's like energy efficiency, right? The more work you can do with fewer people, the better. Even though that does cost jobs and cause unemployment, you know. Eventually, the efficiency of everything is always good. It's always good to have efficiency. Trade unionists are happy about our maternity leave. I can't believe we didn't maternity leave. It's so dumb. And parents are happy about it too. Farmers are not so happy. We are quite popular. Tax evasion is becoming a growing issue. I don't really care. They can evade taxes all they want. I'm making $2.7 trillion. If they also make some money, it's better for both of us, right? So drug addiction is caused by not having a police force? No, it's reduced by having a good police force. How can we get rid of drug addiction? Unemployment causes drug addiction. That's the only thing causing it? And yet it's this high? I can't fight unemployment. We've talked about this repeatedly. I don't know what to do about this unemployment them there. Private prisons cause unemployment? That doesn't make any sense. Why would private prisons cause unemployment? Prisons cause unemployment too. This makes no sense. Some argue that providing the minimum number of bare cold cells is the only provision that needs to be made for those who have broken the law. Others suggest that spending more money allows for prisoners to be rehabilitated as well as punished and reduces the chances of reoffending. Okay? And how does that impact unemployment? If I paid less, then there would be less unemployment caused? I don't get it. Because the number of prisoners is constant in both cases. So, what the hell? Maybe part of, no. I don't understand. Someone will have to tell me the answer to this in the future because I just don't know. School tax credits help the middle class. All right. Let's see if there's any brand new policies we want to introduce, like subsidizing buses to reduce the number of cars, reduce the number of motorists, and giving free bus passes to poor people. No, to retired people and poor people. I like it. Good. We won the Nobel Prize. GDP. Patriotism. Nice. Awesome. All right. We're spending $2.1 trillion, so when our GDP finally bottoms out, we might just barely be breaking even. Oh, it's still going up despite the global recession. That's impressive. That is some impressive stuff right there. Wow. Global economy is all the way down to half what it was, and yet our income is still kicking some butt, man. Our relative GDP is huge. Let's dump money into edumacation. Edumacation is where it's eduma at. Technology colleges is where it's technology me at. What's this? Obesity. GDP causes obesity. That's funny. Let's pay $1 bajillion to have universal health care, right? Because why not? All right. We get to appoint a judge. We can either go with the strong supporter of human rights or a household name thanks to her many famous rulings concerning violent crimes, saying that she wants to be harder on crime. Not hard on crime. We have no crime. There's no need to be hard on it. All right. So let's tackle this health issue. Pollution, alcohol abuse, obesity, work week. Private health care. State health services. There we go. So it costs a lot of money, but we have a lot of money. See, this is why it was silly of the United States when we had a debt of like $3 trillion to try to do healthcare reform. Like, do healthcare reform after you've tackled the debt, man. That's the problem is that you don't get to be president for 20 straight years, so you can't have a 20-year plan. You have to have a 4-year plan or a 2-year plan. All right. That's going to cost us a ton of money, so I think we're done for this turn. We have not pissed off any of our ministers. That's good. Should we ban same-sex marriage? I don't know. I think that would help our religiousness, but I don't really care. I'm trying to shrink the religious group membership. So yeah, they are very mad about this same-sex marriage nonsense, but they'll get over it. I think they'll get over it. I hope they get over it. Tax evasion. We can't fight tax evasion. Nothing you can do. So let's go back to funding healthcare. State health services will very slowly get funded over time. Youth subsidies, yeah, we got ourselves some state schools. Why not? We'll give everyone student laptops because we like to spend money. Okay, the abortion law currently makes everyone happy. But we could choose to make conservatives happy or sad by changing it. If everyone's happy, why would I change it? I don't understand. Alright, let's get some guidance from the voters, shall we? Dear voters, what do you want me to be doing here? Alright, unpopular laws. They don't like our sales tax. They don't like having drones. They don't like robots. They don't like school vouchers. They don't like armed police. Bus lanes, inheritance taxes, subsidized school something, road building. Man, they don't like a lot of stuff, but they like so many other things more than they dislike those things. It all works out. Let's look for it. Unemployment has gone up 15% since I became president, and racial tension has gone up 32%, mostly due to the citizen tests that I inadvertently put in. I can't believe that this doesn't have any sort of positive benefit. It's like it's purely negative. Right? You would think that having a stringent citizenship test would cause illegal immigration, but it would also reduce racial tension. Because then you'd have fewer ethnic minorities. I don't know, man. Ethnic minorities are only a little bit mad about the racial tension, though. They don't really care. They're like, whatever. don't know, man. I think this is pretty good. It's good the way it is. Everything's looking good. We just enacted 2 extremely expensive changes, so let's fast forward and see what happens with them. Immigration scandal. Interesting. Nobody wants to kill us. Everybody's happy. We're totally rich. See, this is the problem I had with Democracy 2, right? You play it once, and it took me a long time to figure out how to balance the budget, but once you've figured out how to balance the budget, you're just like infinitely popular with infinite money, and the game is over. It's basically like a math problem. The whole game is just a little math problem. They're like, hey, see if you can figure this out. And then you do it, and it takes you maybe 4 hours, but then you're done, you know? Like, so it's a shame to pay a bunch of money to have a 4-hour fun-to-solve math problem and then have solved it. I think the replayability of this game is lacking. But I might be wrong. A lot of people like to play it a different way, where they just give themselves 2 years and see whether they can get reelected by being this guy, or whether they can reelected by doing this, or, you know, just doing different things each time and seeing how it goes, and laughing about how people assassinated them for being dicks and stuff. I always just like to play games to win them, though. I'm weird that way. Everything is going swimmingly, so we'll end here with a $5 trillion reserve. The Federal Reserve. Imagine if that's what the Federal Reserve was. Just a reserve of money that the federal government put aside for the future. That is funny. Because we have a thing called the Federal Reserve that is not at all that. Anyway. Oh boy.